A very good afternoon to all of you. Dr. H.S. Maiti, former Director, CSIR-CGCRI. Dr. Debasis Bhattacharjee, Platinum Jubilee Distinguished Speaker. Dr. Vamsi Bala, Platinum Jubilee Committee Convener. Dr. Ramanuj Narayan, my good friend and Director of CSIR-IMMT Bhubaneswar. Scientists, technical officers, administrative staff, technicians, all employees of CSIR-CGCRI, and also its extension centers based in Khurja and Naroda, young researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen, and friends who joined us online from different CSIR labs. It's indeed a defining moment in my life as I welcome all of you to this momentous occasion as CSIR-CGCRI is going to celebrate Platinum Jubilee. Any such celebrations in the history of an institute is very important. I know it personally because I'm a graduate of Catholic University Leuven, Belgium, and this university is now celebrating 600 years of its existence. It was established in 1425. So this is something very, very momentous occasion in part of any institute. And I would like to congratulate each one of you, all the scientists, staff, and employees of this institute for their continuous service to the growth of this institute. At this juncture, I express my sincere gratitude to the President of CSIR and Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, Vice President of CSIR and Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge of the Ministry of Science, Technology and Art Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, and the Director General of CSIR and Secretary DSIR, Ministry of Science and Technology, Dr. N. Kalai Selvi ji, for their unwavering support and guidance to the growth of CSIR-CGCRI. Now, let me quickly go through some of the slides. This presentation is essentially based on a little bit of the historical perspective of this institute, and also largely on my vision and my dream as this institute will take its challenges in the next 25 years and beyond. So the title of my presentation is Emerging Innovation Ecosystem in Ceramics and Glass for Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is Self-Reliant India. So as many of you know, but some of my friends are also from Bangalore, Dr. Kaushik Chatterjee is here. So if you look at that history of CSIR, that 1902 Board of Scientific Advice, that is in a pre-independence period, was established, and that is followed by 1935 Industrial Intelligence and Research Bureau. And then in 1940, Board of Scientific and Industrial Research was established with office at the Government Test House in Alipur in Calcutta in 1st April 1940. And since the birth of CSIR, as Mrs. Munmun Gupta mentioned by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in the year 1945, the foundation stone of this institute was laid by the Honorable Sir Ardesir Dalal, Member of Planning and Development, Viceroy's Executive Council, in the presence of a large number of administrators and industrialists from Calcutta. As has been told in the very beginning, that CGCRI, Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, is one of the first 4 CSIR labs which were established in this country. And it is also one of the popularly known as Bhatnagar 11 in the CSIR family. Since its establishment and then subsequently it was inaugurated, there's a news article which came in the Nature in March 1947. And the major message that was mentioned in this Nature article, that there are few fields of industrial development in which scientific investigation has played during the last 25 or 30 years such a decisive part as in the glass and ceramic industries. Whereas in those industries, spectacular developments have taken place in the industrially advanced countries of Europe and America. Conditions in India have remained comparatively static, although under the stress of war, there has been some expansion. Another function of the institute will be to serve as a central organization for the testing, grading, and standardization of glass and ceramic raw materials and finished articles. Since then, CSIR-CGCRI has contributed significantly to science, technology, and innovation landscape of advanced materials broadly, and ceramics and glass in particular, over 75 years of its glorious service to India. This Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai, Bharat Ratna, who was the then Chief Minister of West Bengal, officially opened CSIR-CGCRI to the service of the nation on August 26, 1950. And that was the reason when I took over as director of this institute, I kept it to myself a promise that this institute must celebrate the Platinum Jubilee with its grand finale will be on August 26, 2025. And I'm extremely thankful to all of my colleagues that they agreed to my proposal. And as you can see, Dr. Vamsi Balla just presented a few minutes ago, we have already lined up several of such events. And this kind of planning is only possible because of the unconditional support that I have received from all the quarters of CSIR-CGCRI. Thank you very much. Now, CSIR-CGCRI is known as an institute of global importance. And as I said, it is in the service to nation since August 26, 1950. Its core strength is that it is the only national lab in India with core competency on a spectrum of traditional ceramics to engineering ceramics like fiber optics, fuel cells, bioceramics, ceramic membranes, sensors, and glasses. It has many decades of significant contributions to the growth of strategic and private stakeholders and collaborations with academia. Many industries globally seek ceramics and glasses, and it has certainly relevance to United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals, and it has also contributed to the society in terms of the skill development programs, pottery, vitreous silica, whiteware, bone china, etc. In terms of numbers, it has 319 full-time employees, including 89 scientists, and also 21 women scientists. It has 2 extension centers in Naroda and Kujra, as I have mentioned. In 23-24, it was overall funding was around 120 crore, with 17% from industrial and government-funded projects. At this juncture, I would also like to acknowledge all the former directors of this institute who has given leadership over last 75 years. And we are very happy to have here with us Dr. H.S. Maiti and Sri Kamal Dasgupta here in this audience. This is kind of spectrum of CSIR-CGCRI's niche technologies. So as many of you are aware of its contributions to the strategic sector in terms of the glasses for Department of Atomic Energy, for nuclear waste immobilization, as well as radiation shielding window glasses, societal for ceramic membranes for water filtration, where one can bring down the iron and arsenic level much below than what is the WHO standards. It has also significantly contributed to the development of technologies related to the healthcare, whether it is related to the fiber optics-based technologies or bioceramic implants or total hip joint replacement and so on. And also currently, it has really caused significant enthusiasm in the national landscape because of its programs in the field of energy. It has also collaborated and contributed to different government sectors and multinational corporates and MSMEs, as has been mentioned in these particular slides. So being from academia, I was also interested to know that there are many students who have done PhD from CSIR-CGCRI. And if you can see, there are some numbers which are being plotted. But more important for the young PhD students and researchers to note that many of our alumni is currently in very significant positions in their life, like Dr. Shantanu Mondal at Carborundum Universal Limited as Associate Vice President, Head R&D. Then Dr. Amitabh Patra is currently Director of Ministry of Nanoscience and Technology, Mohali. Then there are also alumni who is now professors in NIT Rourkela, as well as some of them are in China or in other parts of the world. The mission of this institute is to position CSIR-CGCRI as a world-leading institute in ceramics, glass, and advanced materials, while accelerating innovation in transformative technologies to deliver positive economic and societal impact for India. Now, this is the vision I have presented on November 8, and at this junction, I would like to reiterate my vision, where what I call is IDEA, where I stands for inspiring next generation scientists and technologies, D stands for delivering to the nation, E stands for engaging with key stakeholders, and A stands for administration. And according to my definition of administration, it is to facilitate excellence in science, technology, and innovation. Now, some of the recent key activities of CSIR-CGCRI over last 42 days. We hosted Parliamentary Standing Committee of Science and Technology and Art Sciences. They visited us November 21st, and honorable members of Parliament, both from Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they visited. They interacted with the leadership team of CGCRI. They visited few facilities, and they expressed great satisfaction over the STI activities that is going on CSIR-CGCRI. This is the CSIR-CGCRI's participation in the 10th edition of India International Science Festival in IIT Guwahati. This is the visit. I personally visited some of the sister labs like NML Jamshedpur or CMRI Durgapur, as well as NAL Bangalore, National Space Laboratory. Also, some of the companies, particularly Prism Johnson near Indore, I visited when I was attending that IUMRS conference in Indore a few weeks ago. Recent key initiatives that I have taken or I have introduced. So first one is that women in science, technology, and innovation. This is the first time I think that one specific committee was constituted under the leadership of Dr. K. Annapurna, Dr. Atoshi Pal, and Dr. Sayantani Laha. And their objective is to strategize and enhancing women's roles in science, technology, innovation, to create platforms for women in STEM, and to share experiences and collaborate, skill development programs for women empowerment, and establish mentorship opportunities to connecting girls at school level in association with Jigyasa program. And this is very important because this is directly aligned with United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals, that is the gender equality. We have also organized Sexual Harassment at Workplace Prevention Week during the week of December 3rd to 9th. And then we have invited Professor Kavita Singh, who delivered an important lecture there. And perhaps this is the first time that appropriate oath was administered during my lecture in this particular function. Another important thing, and that I would like to do it much more, and I have just started to engage myself in direct interaction and discussion with technical officers, technical assistants, and technicians. I have spent few hours with all of them separately, and some of the key discussion topics were state-of-the-art workshop, central furnace room, workplace safety, and general welfare of the employees. This is another initiative, that is the safety, security, and disaster management. While this CGCRI, this institute already has separate committees on the safety and security and separately for disaster management, I thought it is time to revisit these committees and also their roles and responsibilities. And what we have done, we have introduced new safety champions, like young scientists from different divisions, and we have put them on board. And safety manual is currently under revision and protocol to be implemented. Building safety audit, I have requested CSIR-CBRI director, and they are sending a team in early January 2025 for the audit of the entire CGCRI building. Internal energy audit of CGCRI, we have one scientist from this BDPD department who has agreed to do that. Safety audit and preparedness, this is the National Institute of Fire and Safety Management, Kolkata. They will conduct safety audit. And then I would like to slowly implement 2 persons rule at workplace beyond working hours. And we also had a successful fire drilling exercise on 12th December 2024. And many of you are aware that CGCRI has got this first certificate or first prize in recognition to the outstanding innovation and dedication towards the energy efficiency. And this was given, I think, last CSR Foundation Day. Another thing is that engaging with key stakeholders. So what we'd like to do in this Platinum Jubilee celebration year, we'd like to have a very focused conclave on industry-focused conclave, where we would like to also bring together people or leaders from the strategic sectors, meaning Department of Atomic Energy, ISRO, DRDO, and so on. And this is what we have also discussed at the 88th annual session of Indian Ceramic Society at IIT Madras. DG CSIR is very keen to organize one MSME meeting with the Parliamentary Standing Committee, and she also has requested me just also to be part of this MSME meeting. Other Platinum Jubilee initiatives, CSIR Model Village at Khurja with the installation of pilot plants of water purification. The second one, I was very impressed when I visited CMRI, and I thought it is time that we should also have similar facility, kind of municipal solid waste processing facility, best practices in STI activities, research and publication ethics, diversity and inclusiveness, theory and computation initiative, like some scientists have started working in the area of molecular dynamics, artificial machine learning, and I would personally like to promote that kind of activities and initiative in CGCRI. Revamping NABL accreditation of testing facilities so that many industries will be benefited when we have NABL accreditation so that they can use it for the certification process of the product and technology. Sustainable ceramic and glass manufacturing with reduced carbon footprint. Currently, some discussion is underway for the glasses that, for reduced carbon footprint, but I would like to engage myself more with such discussion and initiative. What I dream for the next 25 years, Honorable Prime Minister has already mentioned that Viksit Bharat initiative. Till the time I went abroad as a young PhD student, and so far I was always introduced to the rest of the world that, he's from India, it's a developing nation. But before I die, I would like to see that India is considered as a developed nation. So I'm all with Honorable Prime Minister's Viksit Bharat initiative, and therefore we need to develop innovation-driven technology development for self-reliant India, and that also needs for us to meet the increasing demands of the strategic sectors like DAE's high temperature mission, reactor mission, or ISRO's requirements. Some of them I would like to mention in the next few slides. Leadership in research programs for sustainable society, and one of the major things, as I mentioned, is the energy, like National Green Hydrogen Mission. What is still not there to very significant extent is the international collaboration with government labs and also more collaboration with academia, and we have taken some initiatives in this direction as well. This is what we discussed in CSIR's Directors Conference, and that is to accelerate innovation entrepreneurship for sustainable economic growth and for global leadership, and which we discussed at the last conference in Mysore. Now, some of the things that is in my mind, and I would like also to CGCRI take leadership in this particular direction, is the mission-oriented program silicon carbide ceramics. This is one of the important non-oxide ceramics which is coming up in a big way, not only for one specific applications, for multiple applications. For example, carbon fiber silicon carbide or silicon carbide fiber silicon carbide for generation 4 nuclear reactor, or a silicon carbide boron carbide ceramic armors. Ceramic for semiconductor industry, like silicon carbide aluminum nitride, like Applied Materials, Global Foundry, they are in huge need for that. Quantitative process modeling of multifunctional glasses or high entropy ceramics or next generation ceramic. This quantitative process modeling is something that is more into the domain of science, and somehow we sometimes miss that particular aspect in our STI activity. Cross-disciplinary research and cross-divisional research programs. Like, that we need to cross the boundary of individual division. Glass scientists should not think that they should not collaborate significantly with syrup scientists from refractories division. If it is required, they need to work together to develop and to also solve complex technology programs. So scientists should not live within a small domain, within a small silo. Days are gone where we have to collaborate, and we must collaborate among the scientists from different divisions. This is one such examples in the very recent times that CGCRI scientists have developed space-grade optical glasses with high homogeneity. When I mention about high homogeneity, it is a large block where 10⁻⁻⁶ homogeneity needs to be achieved with refractive index to be matched in the 3rd decimal point. It's a challenge, and this challenge has been addressed by a group of dedicated glass scientists. I also discussed with Dr. Somnath when I visited Trivandrum a few weeks ago, and this is one of the things that you can see. This is 603606 glass. This is a specific grade of glasses, and where this melting is currently undergoing in the 5-liter induction melting crucible. Dr. Somnath himself expressed his satisfaction, and he would like to see that ISRO scientists can use this kind of specific glass facility in the clean room, glass melting facility in clean room, even after the program is over, after the collaborating program is over. This is another ceramic material, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, silicon carbide for Department of Atomic Energy related applications. Like, this is for particularly for the fusion reactor shell, and there silicon carbide based materials with carbon fibers or silicon carbide fibers, which is very important. NAL Bangalore has developed a technology for the pilot scale production of the carbon fibers also. In terms of the frontier technology programs, these are few things that I have listed down, and hopefully that CSIR-CGCRI scientists will also take lead in many of them, like multifunction glasses with tailored properties for defense, space, and atomic energy applications, machine learning, as I have mentioned before, additive manufacturing of high-performance ceramics with topologically compliant lattice structures for strategic applications. Additive manufacturing, there are many groups, but when it comes to manufacture complex structures and where we need to use the design for manufacturing, this kind of concept, there is a lot of potential challenges. Fiber bracketing based sensors for chemical and biosensing applications. I'm happy to announce that recently Fiber Optic and Photonics Division has received this funding for the phase 2 from the DRDO, and there the key deliverables include active ytterbium fiber, matched passive fiber FBG pairs, and they have committed that they will deliver output power of more than 2 kilowatt. And that is, DRDO is very, very strict on that. So, and then also 6-to-1 combiners. Many technologies are developed in this institute, and they are at the prototype stage. It is now time to see that, how we can commercialize these technologies. And these are the technologies from Functional Materials Division, like diabetic breath analyzer prototype, neurodiagnostic sensor prototype. I recently visited Indian Institute of Space Technology, and their one faculty is also shown interest to collaborate more closely with the CGCRI scientists in this direction. There is a technology transfer commitment. This is the TTC of 2030 or 2035, that CSIR's commitment to the country. And under that, we are asked to provide 2 technologies which will commit to the CSIR as well as to the nation. And one of them is for non-invasive magnetoacoustic devices for tissue regeneration cancer regression. This is Dr. Vamsi Bala's program, and then he would involve a lot more scientists in the days to come. So proof of concept has been validated both in vitro and to some extent in vivo in the animal model. And this essentially will combine both magnetic field and the ultrasonic field just for the cancer regression process. The second one from the energy division, that is Dr. Jayanta Mukhopadhyay, is currently leading this activity. That is a solid oxide electrolyzer system for green hydrogen. And as you know, this green hydrogen and then hydrogen technologies is a big thing and most relevant in a country like India. And they have developed indigenous SOE single cell, and they have also validated their performances. And this particularly upscaling process is currently under progress, that is roll-to-roll casting. This is something that Dr. Mukhopadhyay's division has also taken, particularly connecting with Indian Institute of Science as well as other companies like HPCL and national labs like ARCI, that is for the SOFC program of the 10 kilowatt prototypes and so on. And this is particularly the technology on the forefront where they are seeking funding from MNRE, as well as they are also committed to work closely with Thermax and Eastern Electrolyzer and in IOCL, etc. Artificial machine learning, this is the research that we have been pursuing at ISC for quite a few years. And this is what I would like to see, that how these kind of activities can grow to more maturity in CGCRI. So essentially, we'll be using both regression-based model as well as a classification-based model. The first one is more for process optimization, and second one is more for predicting the quality of the ceramic components and products or glass products after the processing. And some of the things that we have also collaborated with some companies in India. Now, training the next generation technical manpower, although it does not fall under the direct mandate of CGCRI, but I personally feel that at this Platinum Jubilee, we'll have some programs where we can essentially help, guide, review, revise the undergraduate and postgraduate ceramic engineering curriculum of IITs and NITs. And here, some of the initiatives that CSI has taken, like CSI Diamond Research Interns recruitment, that this WAME is not out, but that is under progress. NPTEL courses, which are also very useful for the less endowed institute, and where many IIT professors or ISc professors, they take part in these NPTEL courses. But they can also use CGCRI facility to show that how large volume glass melting can be accomplished in India. And those kind of things are not being shown. It is more like a classroom lectures. Skill development programs also to be strengthened. In IIT BHU, their ceramic engineering department is currently celebrating centenary year. So these 100 years are delivering the plenary lecture, and there I have clearly mentioned that how institute like IIT BHU ceramic engineering will take lead in reviewing and revising this, particularly the academic curriculum. And it is important to bring more quantitative approaches in process science and performance limiting properties of ceramics and glass. Currently, these quantitative approaches are not there. And many of the undergraduate students, when they came to IIT Kanpur to work with me or in ISC Bangalore, I have seen that their knowledge on the advanced engineering ceramics is also limited. It is time to review and revise the century-old syllabus of the ceramic engineering. For example, there is other programs also that we need to introduce, like data science and entrepreneurship. Like I was discussing with Dr. Sivram, who is giving this course at CSIR Kolkata and CSIR Pune. And essentially, this course is more entrepreneurship, and other words, it is how to make money. So these are the courses which is conventionally are not being taught in an academic educational system. The Platinum Jubilee summer internship programs or final year research programs for bright undergraduates, and more collaboration with academia. As a result, you can see Professor Manoj Kumar, who is currently professor and head at Department of Metallurgical Materials Engineering, IIT Roorkee, is currently visiting, and he has interacted very significantly with advanced ceramics and composites division, as well as the students and research scholars at CSIR-CGCRI. These are CSR-centric programs and national policies like CSR mega mission projects. 3+2+2 means 3 years you have to deliver the proof of concept. Next 2 years prototype. Next 2 years is the commercialization. So this is under discussion, and this will come very soon. Alignment with other sister lab activities. CSI Innovation Center in Kolkata. Many of you may be aware that CSR has a land with a plan to start the innovation center. And it is time to think that, how we can steer that. Co-locating CSR facilities in industries and co-locating CSR facilities in academia. These are the things that have not yet matured to that level, but this is also under discussion at the top CSR leadership level. Finally, my dream is to make CSIR-CGCRI as a national hub of ceramics and glass and in India as well as beyond. And here, we'd like to closely work with a collaboration network like CSI Sister Labs, DST DBT institutes, companies, strategic sector that should be strengthened. And here, strategic sectors typically define problems, and we develop high TRL technologies. So what we call is a reactive institute, right? You react to the problems of a strategic sector. But I would like this institute to be transformed as a proactive institute where we develop technologies. Industries will come and seek our technologies, and then we'll be transferring that technologies to the industries. International institutes, like I have mentioned in my inaugural address, that Fraunhofer Institute, Germany, their mandate is very close to that of CSIR's mandate. And one of the Fraunhofer Institute, IKTS Dresden, which has many similar overlapping research institutes like CSIR-CGCRI. Professional networking, like there are many professional bodies like American Ceramic Society, for example, as a very important platform to increase the international visibility of CGCRI. I have seen many smaller labs in Spain and Italy. They are globally much more visible than CGCRI, where their total funding, total contributions to the ceramic technologies is much less than CGCRI. But I would like to see that if you go to American Ceramic Society conference or MRS conference or anywhere, if you say CGCRI, then they will say, okay, it is based in Calcutta, right? So it should have that level of visibility globally. So it should also have more interactions with academia and more innovation-driven technologies. And in CSIR language, it should also generate more external cash flow. And that is possible only when we'll have very strong programs and continuous programs with strategic sectors and on the companies on the other hand. Dhanabad, Jai Hind.